It's midnight currently. I was just roused out of bed by, oddly enough, the same guy that happens to own the house that we're going to do an investigation on. Um, I'll give you a little backstory on this place. He bought it a few years back. The real estate agent made him aware that a couple of people had died in the place, but didn't really give specifics. So the long or the short, last year I went over there for Christmas, and he had us come over early. And as soon as we got over there, he drug us both upstairs and said, "Listen." And he pointed to the attic door. It had a pull string on it. It was one of the long, narrow ones. And it's honestly, to me, it sounded like somebody was dropping something from a distance onto the floor up there. So, being the kind of individual I am, I asked him for a flashlight, and I immediately went up there and looked around. And there was nothing. I mean, there was some ski equipment, some other stuff like that, but nothing that would warrant that type of sound. So as soon as I came back down and I got to the bottom of the stairs, there was another loud bang. Of course, I stuck my head back up and I looked around with a flashlight. Saw nothing. And I'm a pretty grounded person. I don't rattle easy, And so with that said, he calls me tonight and starts telling me him and the wife are going to a hotel. And I said, well, in the middle of this virus, you guys really need to be careful out there. They're fining people. There's a curfew now, and the city's starting to fine people. He goes, well, that would be the least of my concern right now. He said, we had a little bit of an event here that I am beyond explaining. And he goes on to tell me that apparently there is, when you first walk in the house, there's a staircase off to the left. And as you walk up to the top, there's like a landing, and then there's a light switch, and there's like 3 or 4 light switches on the wall right there. And he said as soon as they came up to the steps, he reached over to flip the light off, and as soon as he did that, the attic door slammed. Like somebody was up there trying to get it open. And I said, well, why in the hell didn't you call the cops? Why in the hell are you calling me? He goes, the cops have already been here. This isn't the first time this has happened. And I said, so you just wait until the last minute to get the hell out of the house? I said, you could have a burglar or somebody, living in your walls or something, like a squatter. And he goes on to say that the cops have been there, a half a dozen times. They haven't found anything. They've never come across any squatters, homeless people, any reason for the noises. He's gone as far as to actually have an extermination company come in there and look for raccoons and possums and, anything that could have gotten the walls that would, explain these sounds they're hearing. And, but he is, not one of those people that believes in this kind of crap. That's just, it's just not how he is. He's very level-headed. He always looks for the most rational explanation. But I have to say, talking with him tonight, he had fear in his voice. He is scared. And frankly, I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. I did some research on the house after he told me that people had been killed there, and basically what ended up happening was a couple got in there and they were living high on the hog, way above their means. And the husband made some investments. The investments didn't pay off the way he had planned, and they were pretty much mortgaged up to their balls. And one night, I guess he had way too many martinis and decided to shoot his wife and then kill himself. And so I'm trying to stay open minded, but I'm beginning to kind of lose hope that there's a rational explanation for this. I don't know. We're still gonna go investigate the house, and I guess I'll just see what happens, see what the equipment picks up, and hopefully we'll get out of there alive. So anyway, I'm going back to bed. Night.